The Secret Service's solemn mission is to protect our nation's leaders. On July 13th, we failed. As a director of the United States Secret Service, I take full responsibility for any security lapse of our agency.
How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about Secret Service Director Kimberly Cheatle admitting that they failed as it relates to the assassination attempt on Donald Trump. Now, I don't think we needed her to come out here at this congressional hearing and say that, because we all knew that they failed. How were regular normies with cell phone cameras able to identify the shooter on the roof, but Secret Service and Homeland Security and everybody else couldn't identify him? Oh, the roof was sloped. We had to secure the building from the inside. Ridiculous things they said. This was an absolute failure from the top to the bottom. I don't know why. Some are going to say it was intentional. I'm not going to say that. Shout out to the censors out there that might want to flag me for saying certain things. I'm not going to say it. But what the Secret Service Director said right there, right in front of your face before I started rolling this particular part of the video, is that they failed. Now, this was part of a congressional hearing in which she was asked a few questions, and there were a few people that were a little bit upset with Kimberly Cheatle, including Nancy Mace. Now, before I go any further, let's check out this clip from Nancy Mace. I've not watched it, but I've seen a little bit of it. I've seen some of the captions, the headlines. I want to see this in full and react with you guys. And of course, I will link to this entire exchange in the description. But without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
Most of my questions are going to demand a yes or no answer. Do you understand?
I do.
Okay, my first question. Both sides of the aisle today have asked for your resignation. Would you like to use my 5 minutes to draft your resignation letter, yes or no?
No, thank you.
Was this a colossal failure?
It was a failure.
Yes or no? Was it a colossal failure?
They always like to play games like this, and sometimes these hearings can be a dog and pony show, kind of a waste of time. They don't want to answer questions directly. A lot of lawyers and whatnot are involved. It gets kind of weird. I wish we could just have regular conversation, but I digress.
Here is the question, yes or no?
I have admitted this is a terrible...
This is a yes or no series of questions. Was this a colossal failure, yes or no?
Yes.
Was this tragedy preventable, yes or no?
Yes.
Has the Secret Service been transparent with this committee?
Yes.
Would you say the fact that we had to issue a subpoena to get you to show up today as being transparent, yes or no?
I have always been
yes
eager to
or no.
come.
You didn't.
That's a good question, because, you know, it should be voluntary, right? Okay, we're going to invite you to this hearing. Come on, Miss Kimberly Cheatle. Come on to the hearing and answer these questions. No response, not replying to text messages. All right, here goes a subpoena. Now you got to come. Now you have to come. So is that being transparent when you are forced to come to a hearing in front of the Senate? I mean, the House congressional hearing?
I want to answer the question. Committee. We had to issue a subpoena to get you to show up today. That is not transparent, by the way. You stated earlier, Secret Service is not political. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Would you say leaking your opening statement to Punchbowl News, Politico's Playbook, and Washington Post several hours before you sent it to this committee as being political, yes or no?
I have no idea how my statement got out.
Sure.
Well,
Right.
that's bullshit. So, Mr.
Chairman. Wait now, Nancy. You can't be cussing on TV now. You can't be cussing on TV, but I'm not mad at you. I promise I'm not. I am not mad at you, because I feel the same way, although I would not vocalize myself in that same fashion, but I digress. I
would like to ask unanimous consent to enter into the record articles by Punchbowl News, Political Playbook, Washington Post, all done at 5:24 a.m., 6:12 a.m., 6:34 a.m., a solid 3 to 4 hours before this committee got your statement.
Without objection, so ordered.
Okay. Is the Secret Service fully cooperating with our committee?
Yes.
Okay, you say you're fully cooperating with this committee. On July 15th, this committee sent you a list of demands of information that we wanted. Has the Secret Service provided this committee a complete list of all law enforcement personnel that were there that day? Have you done that? Have you provided a list to the Oversight Committee? Yes or no?
I will have to get back to you on that.
That is a no. Have you provided all audio and video recordings in your possession to this committee, as we asked on July 15th? Yes or no?
I would have to get back to you.
That is a no. You're full of shit today.
Whoa.
You're just being completely dishonest.
Mr. Chairman,
Completely dishonest.
Mr. Chairman, I want to.
Come
on. We have to maintain decorum in this committee.
I mean, but look, let's just pause for a minute. We could talk about the cussing and whatnot, and we got to maintain decorum. Okay, we could say that, but at the end of the day, the president got shot and almost died just a few days ago. So, yeah, there needs to be just a teeny bit more emotion when it comes to a thing like this. And as I said, some of these things can be dog and pony shows, but I think the American people have the right to know what's going on with Secret Service. They have the right to have these questions answered. And hopefully something happens. This person, obviously, Kimberly Cheatle, got to go. She admitted from the very beginning, we failed in her opening statement. And then when she was asked again by Nancy Mace, she was trying to hem and haw, talking about, I admit it was a failure, but I don't want to say yes to the colossal failure. This lady needs to go. And anybody else that was in the decision-making process with the sloped roof, and everybody got to go. Heads got to roll. When you have a president that gets shot and the Secret Service say that it was avoidable and that they failed.
No matter how
Have you provided
upset we
any
get.
and all memos to this committee that we've asked you on July 15th? Have you provided all memorandums within the Secret Service?
I would have to get back to you on
That is a no. You are being dishonest or lying. You're being dishonest here with this committee. These are important questions that the American people want answers to, and you're just dodging and talking around it in generalities. And we had to subpoena you to be here, and you won't even answer the questions. We have asked you repeatedly to answer our questions. This isn't hard. These are not hard questions. Have you provided us all communications from the Secret Service related to that day and that rally? Have you provided this committee? We've asked for this information on July 15th. Have you provided any of this information that this committee has asked of the Secret Service? Any of it?
I'll have to get back to you.
Have you even read this letter that we sent you?
No.
Did you even read this?
Yes.
Okay. And you have said you don't know, you have no idea. Well, the answer is no. We haven't gotten a single document or piece of information or data from you or your agency in related to the rally that we have asked you for.
You probably won't get that without a fight. Just like you had to submit a subpoena to get her to come, it'd be the same way for those documents. It's going to be a fight. It's not going to be. They're not going to be very transparent as we, the people, would like.
So, was this attempted assassination of Donald Trump a failure of training or execution or both?
I think that those are answers that we need to
Training,
examine.
execution, or both? Which one?
I think those are answers.
All right.
we
How
need to
many
determine.
how many Secret Service personnel have lost their jobs due to this colossal failure?
At this time, none.
How many Secret Service personnel have been required to take a refresher course on how not to let people shoot Donald Trump?
Our personnel
Yeah, for
are
real.
currently operational. We are examining the facts of this investigation, and we will make the changes necessary.
What time did law enforcement become aware that there was an individual on the roof with a clear line of sight to President Trump?
I am still verifying timelines.
Man, come on, man. Like, we know what was going. Like, the people on the ground knew what was happening before you guys knew what was happening. There has to be some accountability here. People got to get fired. The whole thing needs to get overhauled. This was just really the biggest ball drop ever. They were not prepared for what happened. And when it did happen, some of the agents were not prepared to deal with it. So those agents who obviously, like the lady with the holster and couldn't get it in, she's got to go. That's the first person to get fired from the actual agency of people that were on the ground with Trump that day. But this woman right here has got to be the first person overall to get fired because she's a director. This is her watch. So when things like this go wrong, you have to go. You're the first one to go.
Of course, 9 days in, you have no answers. How many minutes went by between the time law enforcement saw and took photos of Crooks and the shooting? How many minutes?
I am still verifying timelines.
57 minutes. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I yield back.
Shout out to Nancy Mace. That was very good. And of course, I will link to the whole thing in the box. There's a whole hearing. I think it's still happening right now as we speak on Monday, July 22nd, 2024. But as I close, I want to say this. Kimberly Cheatle gotta go. Any of the agents that were barely able to holster the weapon, they gotta go. The entire system from top to bottom needs to be looked at. People need to get retrained because look, I don't care who the president is. I don't care who the person is. It could be President Biden, President Trump, President Obama, President W, George W, Ronald Reagan, Jimmy Carter. I don't care who it is. It could be the president of some random place never heard of before. Bhutan. Okay, the president of Bhutan, the prime minister, whatever, comes to the United States and he gets protection for Secret Service. Okay, make sure you protect this guy and don't let somebody get on the roof for 3 hours with a rangefinder and a pair of binoculars and a 5-foot ladder and a rifle and shoot him. I mean, just really crazy. So Nancy Mace was correct to be a little bit indignant, a little bit irritated and impatient with this woman because of, as she said, the colossal failure that happened on that day. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? What's your take on what happened here? Do you think that it was just an honest mistake? You know, things happen sometimes. It's not really a big deal. Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments below. You guys know where I'm at. This is really crazy. Everybody involved that dropped the ball here needs to go. And it's just that simple. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that is all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.